no filter in sight. Jason's got the insights, always gets it right. Sean's the wild card with a laugh in the night. On FolkLOOR, they banter about the latest fight. FolkLOOR podcast, stories non-stop. Tim's aim and gossip, and Tech's new crop. Loud opinions, like a punk rock pop. Marcus, Jason, Sean, they never drop.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the FolkLOOR podcast. I'm Marcus, here with Sean Voyage, and the one and only. Trying to turn that music down just a little bit, trying to be smooth with it, and I'm just not.
I hate it when he sings over you.
Jason, terrific pacifier Farley. Oh no, terrific
Terrific-ifier.
Terrific-ifier Farley. How's it going, everybody?
Good.
It's really good.
Awesome. We got a great show today, Sean. Why don't you, real quick, before we'll bring the guest in later, let everybody know about the guest that's coming on the air.
I will, but I still hear that guy singing in my ear.
Oh, there we go.
I just kicked him off the stage. Wow.
There we go.
I didn't mean to be so abrupt.
Yeah,
we have a great show today, and it's because I heard this kid on the Charlie Kirk podcast, and as you know, he goes to these college campuses and these events. This was actually his SAS event in Florida, and you know, he opens up the mic and people can come up to the mic and just speak their mind. And Charlie's not afraid. Like, you could be a total fan or you can be a total hater, and anyone can come up. And I hear this kid come up, and I was like, man, this kid's really cool, man. He's super smart and really just commanded attention. And it turned out he kind of threw out a shout out for his own podcast and Instagram handle. I'm like, oh, look this kid up. And so I DM'd him, and I was like, hey, why don't you come on our podcast, hang out with the old guys? And so anyways, I don't want to give anything more about him, because
don't give anything up. Don't give anything else away.
I won't.
I just want to also let you guys know that later on in the show, I know all of you guys have been waiting. I have a South Park update. So I know
What
we've
is
been
it?
following what?
I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't.
I know.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We'll bring it in later, but there is an update. There may or may not be resolution. But we do have an update. I'll leave it there for now. But since we have a guest to come that's on the show today, I'm starting to hear music a little bit earlier than normal.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for Jason's Trivia Lesson.
All right.
Wow, another one of our artists just got booted off the stage without warning. You know what? I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, Marcus. I know what I'm getting you.
Yeah.
Like a
better alternative to Restream.
Just a fader. A fader.
Just a fader.
That would be fantastic. That would really be fantastic.
Together and get Marcus a fader for Christmas. That'd be great.
All right. Are we ready for our trivia lesson for the day?
I am so ready.
Okay. So everybody remembers that at the turn of the millennium, there was only one musical artist that had songs that charted in 7 different decades. We all remember that, right? Louis Armstrong, right? He had a song on the charts in every decade from the 20s through the 80s.
Yeah,
right.
I've got his box set for sure. Yeah, I used to do it all the time.
So, and everybody thought that record was unbreakable until it was finally surpassed by another American artist with the help of a movie soundtrack. When a remixed version of this artist's song in Ocean's 11 charted in 2002, Louis was no longer the only artist to hold the 7-decade title. So who was the artist that tied Louis Armstrong for the most decades to have a charting song?
Ladies and gentlemen, it goes to Marcus.
I'll take a quick guess. I'll say John Williams.
Ooh, that's a good guess. That really is, because he started doing movies early enough. That's a good guess. It's not right, but
Oh man.
Well, first of all, I want to make some commentary about your today's trivia lesson. I'm
Okay.
very surprised that your trivia lesson gave away a big hint when you said the soundtrack, because like all I had to do is go look up the soundtrack, and I was like, man, he's kind of giving. This is a softball pitch you're giving on this one. I mean, I don't even need Chat GPT for this. I can just go to my CD collection. But I didn't do it, by the way, because I don't want to cheat, because I don't like cheetahs. Don't be a cheetah. That's a Cheeto joke for anyone who's paying
That was a good.
Thank you.
Chester
Don't
the
be
cheetah.
Yeah, don't be a
Don't
cheetah.
be Chester.
But this is my guess. I had to think about. We're talking 7 generations, right? 7 decades.
7 decades, yeah.
Right. And so then I start thinking about who are people that just never go away. I don't know why my mind went there. And then I started thinking about who's someone who's looked old since the Carter administration. And do you know what the answer is? I know this is your trivia question, but now I'm turning it on mine.
Who has looked old since the Carter administration?
Yeah. Who's a musician? And it's not Betty White. So
Cher?
Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay. Cher is almost tied. That's amazing you said Cher, because she is in a time machine. But it's Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. Yeah. That's a really good guess.
Yeah. He's always looked like kind of old. And it's like, it's weird. It's like he's in a.
Yes. But Cher only charted in 6 decades.
Yeah.
So she hasn't hit the 7th decade yet.
Yeah. She's on a lot of my charts. Like one of them is my least favorite artist. She's top of that chart.
Ever since she divorced Sonny, it's been downhill. So.
Oh, was that downhill a skiing joke that you tried to wedge in there?
Oh shoot! No, it wasn't. But that would have been a good one. I wish it would have been on purpose.
Wow, that was really good. That was like a Freudian slip right there.
Yeah.
That was a good. I like your style, Farley. Okay, so let's not give away the answer. Everyone's got a lot of time, but I think we should open up the green room door and let our guest in.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you give him the introduction?
Okay. Like right now?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is Roman. I don't remember how to pronounce his last name, so I'm going to let him do it. But welcome to the show, Roman.
Thank you. Roman Medeiros. It's a pleasure being on here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on here. All right. So I kind of just threw this on the guys last minute. So usually, there's a lot of planning. We've got a whole writer's staff. Usually the fifth and the 6th floors are just filled buzzing with assistants trying to figure out what's going to be the plan for this podcast. But I did throw it on the guys last minute. I said, hey, I got this guy who I really want to bring on the show. So I kind of already introed you a little bit earlier, but why don't you tell us about yourself and tell us about the story when that weird guy from FolkLOOR TV reached out to you and said, be on our podcast.
No, I mean, guys, I want to thank you guys for having me. It's, like 100 days ago, I would have thought, no, like, come on. My life, I would have said, you know what? You guys are, you guys, this is a movie. This isn't my life. And now I'm like, the amount my life has changed within the last 100 days, it's truly been a blessing from God, honestly. So a little story on me, guys, is I started my show 90 days ago. It's the Roman Medeiros Show, and praise God, we've grown it to over 5,000 plus followers across all platforms, and we've grown, and we've had. We've got some pretty exciting big people coming up that are a part of the conservative movement. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that. And then across all platforms, we've hit over 370,000 views, excuse me. So I'm blessed. I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, the show's been a really incredible part of my life because I finally said, you know what, it's something I was interested in. It's something I was always following, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. Why not? What's going to hurt? And so I did. And by the grace of God, it's grown faster than I could have ever imagined. So
So the show, how would you explain the show to people?
Yeah. So my show personally, I originally started out with just a podcast. I said, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to as many people as possible and elected officials, either side. I wanted to have a conversation. And what sparked it was I am a believer that the biggest threat to our country is dying conversation. I genuinely believe that. I believe that you look at a household, you look at a family, a couple, okay? If the husband and the wife stop talking, divorce is going to happen. And I believe the same thing goes for our country. And I'm a big believer that if we stop talking with the opposing side, if we stop talking with people we disagree with, or even on paper we think we disagree with, then we are a dead nation. We are a dead society. And the perfect example is this. It was my first episode, okay? I would consider myself a fairly Christian conservative individual, okay? And I'm not gonna, I won't get too political, but I had this lady on. She was the supervisor of San Luis Obispo County District 5, which is where I'm from. And I had her on, a Democrat, and I looked at all of her policies, everything she had, voted on and was in support of. And on paper, I would have said, you know what? I probably disagree with her on 9 out of 10 issues. But the perfect example of what I'm talking about is then I went and had the conversation with her. I had her on my show. We spoke for literally an hour and a half, and she had to go because she goes, Roman, it's like 8 o'clock. I gotta go. Like I gotta have dinner. And it was a wonderful conversation. And again, I didn't agree with her on everything, but I finished the conversation. I went to my mom and I go, Mom, I can actually look at her and I can say, you know what? Just because she has a D next to her name doesn't make her the bad guy. You know what I mean? And honestly, you can tell she really cares about the residents of SLO County. Like you can tell she really has their best interest at hand. And it was very evident in our conversation. And then I walked away and I'm like, we agree on most things. Like, and I believe most Americans believe most things. Like they want to have the same outcome. People want to be able to afford homes. People want to be able to live in a safe society. People want to be able to feel safe and secure and free in this country. And I believe like those are the founding principles. People want peace. And like, it was an awesome conversation. So I'm kind of going off track, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what sparked it. It's what sparked it. And I said, you know what? I want to have conversations with people, and I think it's a need. So I started the show. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. Well, I wanted to ask you, and thank you. That's a great story, by the way. And it takes a lot to be that confident in yourself to just go, hey, it's okay if we don't disagree, and then find the common ground. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, like, you're in it. Say how old you are. Tell us.
I'm 18 years old.
You're 18. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
you're 18, like going on 38 with your maturity level. It's great. But what would you say is like what is the thing, maybe the thing you're noticing right now in terms of the shift, the change of sentiment, the change of mind? Like, a lot of adults just kind of go, the youth today, they're broken. They're like, whatever they want to commentary. What's your take on it? What do you see happening?
In regards to the youth and the movement?
Yeah, I mean, like, that, and even like you just got back from the SAS event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you saw a lot of like-minded peers, and you could, it's one thing when you're in your little community with your friends, but then you get out in the world and you're like, whoa, and you're meeting people from cities all over the country. Like, what was your, especially coming fresh off of this, what are some things you noticed?
Hands down, I can answer this question easily. Hands down. So, by the way, it's literally like a conservative frat. That's the way I describe it. It's a conservative frat, and you go up, everybody's decked out, suits, whatever. All the girls look nice, and you can literally walk up to anyone. I can't do this in California. You can walk up to any girl, any guy, put your hand out and say, "Hey, where are you from? What's your name? What chapter are you a part of?" And immediately there's a connection. And then all of a sudden, you end up having a wonderful 10-minute conversation with this guy you've never met from Huntsville, Alabama. And then you're like, you get his number and you're like, hey, if I'm ever in the area, I'll text you and maybe we can meet for lunch. And then boom, you already have a connection right there. That was by far the networking in that regard was by far the most incredible thing that I can say came out of this conference and this event and this summit in Tampa, Florida. But I would go up to a young lady. I'd say, hey, let's keep in touch. What's your Instagram? This happened more times than not that you had attractive young women that you would think would be on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, showing off their bodies, and they're like, actually, I don't have Instagram. I'm like,
Ah.
wow. And by the way,
Hey.
guys, by the way, that was the biggest surprise to me, hands down. And this happened so many times. In fact, we had a college social night. So we were in downtown Tampa, away from the conference center, away from the hotels. And it was like, maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night. And they had food for us. They had a DJ, and it was like a college social. You met people, you had conversations. It was great. Guess what? People aren't on their phones. People aren't scrolling through social media. People aren't, over here talking crap about somebody else and starting drama. And it was
Mm,
refreshing. It
mm,
was refreshing. And the other thing I'm going to give Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, I have to give them credit. It wasn't that political. I'm walking in thinking, I don't want to use the word indoctrination, but I thought, you know what? I have a feeling they're going to try to truly pour certain, their agenda on us. And I know we probably all agree, but I had a feeling like, okay, this is our stance on immigration. This needs to be your stance on immigration when you run your chapter. Not like that at all.
mm,
It was incredibly faith based and incredibly surrounded, excuse me, not surrounded, but incredibly focused on the nuclear family. And
mm,
that was absolutely incredible. They talked about how young women and young men need to interact with each other and what a proper intimate relationship should look like between them. They talked a lot about faith and biblical principles and why they have a certain stance based on biblical truth, which I thought was amazing. So that was a huge surprise too, was the fact that, I thought, oh, it's going to be a political, all politics. It wasn't. And obviously you had guys like Tom Homan, the Borders are. He was just praising him and his team and ICE and what they've done regarding the border. So, he wasn't over here giving like how to be a better person. But then you had a guy like Brandon Tatum, who's this political commentator, and you're like, all he talked about was faith, family, relationships, and it was absolutely beautiful. And a lot of it was like that. Brett Cooper did the same thing. It
mm.
was it was it was very fascinating in that regard.
That's really cool. I have a million questions, but I want to pass the mics to Marcus and Jason. Marcus, I know you did some thoughts and questions.
Yeah. So it's interesting. You guys have this sort of like rejection of like the immodesty, women with body count. This is your generation. I speak you guys, I mean your generation. So your generation it's
Yes.
really interesting because I would say boomers, Gen X, millennials have completely embraced pornography and stuff. And here I have I have an article, actually I just pulled up, from Talker Research, and it's called "Why Gen Z is Turned Off by Sex Scenes in Movies." And 43%, nearly half of Gen Zers, 43%, admit to turning off a movie after encountering a sex scene, and it's, quote, more than any other generation. So what do you think? Like, what's happening with the younger generation? They got their, don't goon, don't be a goon, or anti-goon. Like, you guys have your own lingo. That's, first off, it's amazing, and I love it. You reject OnlyFans, you reject thoughts on Twitch and stuff like that. Like, there's this whole world around basically growing up online, but also rejecting that sort of world. How did you guys? How are you guys doing it? Because the
So
older generations didn't.
So just to be clear, I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correct before I answer the question. The study is saying that when Gen Z encounters like a sexual scene in a movie, they're basically shutting the movie off.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
And so Hollywood has a problem now because they thought that would be the appeal
right,
for,
right.
like,
They think
to get ratings.
right. Well,
And now they're like, wait a minute, why are these young guys like turning off the TV when there's
because
boobs in the
people are
first 5
turning
minutes?
back to God. It's that simple. People are
Yeah.
turning back to biblical truth. And let me tell you, I've been a faithful person all my life. I've grown up in the church. I was baptized at a young age. In fact, I'm half Portuguese, half Armenian. Like, we're talking about, Armenia was the first country to ever declare Christianity as its official national religion, and
That's right.
and Portugal is an incredibly. I just went there actually, and you go in Portugal, and I went in these churches, these beautiful churches, and it's not. I mean, the architecture, the artwork, it's absolutely beautiful. But then you walk in, and it's like you literally feel the Holy Spirit in the church, you feel the Holy Spirit, you feel God's presence in the church, and it's like it's its own beautiful community. And I just thought, like, they're so strong in their faith. So I've been a very faithful person. I would say though, I have never been very outspoken about my faith up until me doing my show, and really me probably within the last month and a half. I've really been unafraid to talk about my faith, and I really don't care because it's something I believe in, it's something I'm passionate about. And I've noticed now that I open my mouth about my faith, my DMs are flooded with people literally praising me and saying, "You know what, Roman, thank you." Like, and they're Gen Z kids. Now, remind you, probably 70% of my audience is Gen Z. It's young people, and it's specifically young boys. Young boys in this generation of Gen Z, they are turning to God. In fact, I'll give you an example. So right now I'm in college in LA, and I went back home, and I was driving home. It's about 5 hours north, and I was driving home on the Central Coast. And I text my buddies. I'm like, "Hey, you guys want to meet up? Haven't seen them in a while." So I met up with my buddies, and we went and we played pickleball and whatever, and then we grabbed dinner. So, and I didn't, and remind you, I'm a very faithful person. I'm outspoken about my faith, and I didn't ignite this. So we sit down, we order, we go out to dinner, and all of a sudden, they all take their hats off and they go, "All right, Colton, do your thing." And I again, I hadn't been out to dinner with them yet, apparently. I mean, at barbecues and at our house, but not out to dinner. And they go, "All right, Colin, do your thing." And I'm like, "Look," and they all take their hats off and they start praying. And I thought it was, and of course I joined them, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful because I'm like, this is like God is coming alive in young male's life. Like, it is so evident to me. And all I can say is, you don't, a lot of people, there might be atheists in the audience and they might just be thinking, "Oh, Roman, what are you talking about?" But I'm just speaking on my personal belief. Okay? I'm going out to dinner with my friends. They've never talked about God to me, never once. And now they're praying. And now when I'm talking about God on my show, they're like, "Roman, thank you so much. People need this." And there's more people preaching and praising me for it than there are haters. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That's really cool.
Jason, you got something?
Um, that is really fascinating because in America, for so many generations, we've been told that that men are less religious, that young people are less religious, and seeing everything shift and change is really exciting. Do you think it's a they look up at the previous generations and go like, whatever you guys were doing, it was not working, or do you think it's more of a so much more information is available online, they're actually just legitimately running into information that wasn't available before?
So I don't. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm answering this question how I believe, and it might be wrong, it might be right, but my personal opinion is this. Completely my opinion is, my generation is also the generation that was locked up, and that they said you can't go outside, you can't socialize, you have to have a mask on. Okay? This is the same generation that growing up, they're creating woke movies, and they're basically praising DEI and degrading merit and meritocracy. So, and I know that might not make sense, but this is the same generation that's told that you know that young men can't be strong, that young men can't be, strong figures in their house and, marry a God-fearing woman and create a family and create a nuclear family. No, they want you respectfully. I'm going to go this route, so I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to, but
Go for it.
they're
No,
basically
go for
being
it.
told, like, "No, you need to go and conform to transgenderism. You need to go and conform to wokeism. You need to go and conform to gayhood." Like, and I'm sorry, but that's the reality. When you're in school and you speak up about, not like, a young girl speaks up about a male being in her locker room, which she's changing, and they're like, "Sorry, we have to be, we have to treat this girl, apparently, that's really a man." This is all anti-biblical ideology, and they're forcing it on Gen Z. And finally, I'm telling you, I'm fed up, and now I'm a voice for these young kids, and they're like, "Thank you, Roman. Thank you." Like, like how, like in what world are we living in that now young men can't be strong male masculine figures that are, I want to, like, for example, Charlie Kirk said this at the summit. He goes, like, young girls, don't think it's weird if one of these gentlemen want to walk you back to their room. Like, or no, sorry. Walk you back to your room. Sorry. No, but he's like, don't think it's weird. Like, they're just protectors. They just care for you. They just want to make sure you get back to your hotel safe. Like, that's it. And young men, don't be weird about it. And everybody was on the same page. And then now you literally have young men. I'm watching it. I'm with them. That, like, you go out and you went to like the college social and it's 11 o'clock in Tampa. And now you have these young gentlemen that are acting as a protector, and they're over here walking these young ladies back to their hotel. But my point being is, like, in all reality, this is how my dad was raised. This is how his dad was raised. This has like been a generational belief, and that we've seen, and it's been successful. And then all of a sudden, they're changing it on us. And I can tell you, young men are sick of it. And they're like, no, I want to be able to raise a family and not like feel like, you know, like not have to apologize for it. Like, I want to be able to marry a God-fearing woman and not have to apologize. I want to be able to go to church and raise a beautiful family and, implement biblical principles into my livelihood. And what society is telling these young men is, no, you can't do that. No. Why would you do that? No. And they're sick of it. And that's what I hear from them, and it's that simple. They're sick of woke movies. They're sick of, they just want to, like, they want to go and tailgate and go to football games and have a good time with their buddies and barbecue and like live a normal life. And the reality is the world we've grown up, we grew up during COVID. That was it was everything against normal. And they're sick of it and they're tired. And the boiling point, it's overfilled and they're done. And now they're speaking up. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Is that
I
a
think
fair
that's
answer?
fantastic. No,
Yeah,
that's a
that's great.
fantastic answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we get the sense of that too, and it's really cool to see finally a generation go, enough's enough. And it's great.
We're not
and
crazy, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
yeah. And, and the funny thing is all this stuff we're talking about, it's just normal. It's just called just being a normal, kind human being and just living a normal, kind life and being kind to everybody. And somehow that became out of favor. Somehow putting the U.S. flag up on your house and celebrating that you're American is a dog whistle that you're a white I mean, it's like everything is, it's the Stranger Things upside down.
Sorry that I have the American flag up in my yard. Oh, now I'm a Nazi. Now I'm a bigot. Now I'm a racist. That's how this works.
I want to just for a minute, because selfishly, I like to get information and learn too from our audience, because you really are, in a lot of ways, Roman, like our kind of what we hope to be our target audience at FolkLOOR TV. And FolkLOOR TV is really like in the same way you're talking about just a total rejection and a finally like saying enough is enough. FolkLOOR TV is doing that on the entertainment side and saying, look, like, we're just tired of like propaganda scripts, all of this forced, stuff that's taking away from just good old fashioned fun, independent filmmaking and storytelling, doing documentaries, even though that aren't hitting you over the head like a Michael Moore film, but that just like actually, that actually like present a story and present even both sides and let you kind of use your intelligence to make a decision because you're mature enough and intelligent to do that.
Right.
And our belief is that all of that has sort of gone away. It kind of existed more when like Jason, Marcus, and I were kids, but then in the last like 5-10 years, it's just gone away. So we want to bring that back, and independent young filmmakers that they're not in the Hollywood system. They don't have they don't come from a lineage of family in Hollywood and have all the connections, or they don't have, their dad's an executive at Netflix or whatever. It's like, we want to give a platform for really great, bright, creative minds that they're kind of like, yeah, I'm sort of over just posting on TikTok and Instagram, and I actually want to make a movie and a film and a TV series. And guess what? I actually have the tools to do it. We're here to provide that. And maybe we're crazy and think that there's a lot of kids that want that. My hunch is that There is, and I'd love to get your take on that, like from someone who's not only in media and you've consumed it, but you're also starting your own media play with the Roman Medeiros Show.
Yeah, so it's an interesting question. I think there's no doubt that people will tune in because people are craving it. This generation is craving it. They're dying for it. They're dying for people to speak up. This is why people like Charlie Kirk have created an incredible movement. That's that simple. And because common sense is back and young men, Gen Zers understand that for the most part. So I think your target audience, the fact that you guys are trying to make it Gen Z, these younger audience, I think it's such a smart move on your guys' part because they're craving it. That's the first point. The second point is whether or not they're actually going to capitalize on wanting to be in that industry as a creator. Quite frankly, I can't answer that because it's a lot of it's very based on personality, interests. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to watch it, but they're like, no, I don't want to be on camera. I can't be on camera, which I get, right? My sister's like that. My sister, no, they want to be private. Completely get it. I'm completely opposite. I don't care. I'll be out there. And my DMs, I'm getting hate DMs like, you can't talk about this. No, this is my show. I'll talk about it if I want. But like, you know, so it's kind of the second part's a little hard because I think it's very based off personality if people are interested. But the fact that I think you will 1010% have the audience. People are craving it. People want it. And the fact that you guys are creating a platform and a guideline for these individuals, praise God. It's a blessing for these young individuals, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, I want to since we're talking about creators and DEI and BLM and all that sort of stuff, I want to point to a documentary that was made by a creator on our website called Gothics, and because it seems like a natural transition to do so. And this is made by Graham Wilson. This documentary is phenomenal and stars Gothics, who actually works with Eric July and those guys at Ripaverse right now. So here we go.
There is no redemption. There is no conversation. It is whatever we say about you is truth, and you're done.
One friend did it with us. He heard our side of the story, and he was just like, oh, wow, this is completely understandable. I see where you guys are coming from. Then he writes us later on, we weren't the right type of black friend.
Breaks on that for a while. I don't know how much out of this time I need that I'm at right now. I need to clear my head. I haven't been feeling myself. I think it's time for me to take a break. Like I just feel like I'm kind of floating without any purpose right now. They brought up my boyfriend. They wanted to know if he was white because if he was, that would have made sense to them of why I was acting like this.
Seeing people automatically say, okay, the reason you have a problem with this is because you're racist is an issue for me. I said, we need to stop doing this. I'm talking in a matter of 24 hours, I became...
Over the course of 4 days, I had more racism towards me from other people that looked like me than in my entire existence on this planet.
What's the next step once they realize I can't, attack someone on social media and make them disappear, so what do we gotta do now? Is physical assault okay?
And I just see like these pools of blood. And I'm like, okay, I'm panicking now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Elliot would be good at that.
You're on mute, Mike.
You're on mute, Marcus.
I was saying some good stuff too, man.
Oh, it's re-say.
Yeah. I was saying that's Gothics, who the documentary is about on FolkLOOR TV. She was a Twitch streamer, and she was canceled basically for saying, "Hey, I don't think you're a racist if you believe the Little Mermaid shouldn't be casted by a black person." And she was completely destroyed and ridiculed and thrown off Twitch and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but
that's her discovery of Thomas Sowell through that process and all that sort of stuff. It's a great film, by the way, Roman. You should absolutely watch it. it's just, everything you're saying is exactly right. The younger generation are just fed up with that sort of fakeness and false gatekeeping.
People want
and
realism.
that's right.
Well, that would really quick, Roman. So that was an example of a show or a documentary that was funded all by Lure TV users. So that the subscribers, when they subscribe, part of their subscription money, they can use an allocation every week to fund the project they want. So that pitch video went up and they funded it. And then some people that really liked it went and we do this thing where you can buy gold loot, which is like a token. And more people funded it and actually got that thing made. It really made waves. It was just a phenomenal doc. But the thing why it was so cool was a great case study for us of like, that show would have never been picked up by Netflix or Amazon, Hulu, Tubi. I've worked with all of those people. Yeah. They would have never done it. It was off
because it goes against their agenda.
It goes against their agenda. It's totally radioactive.
Yeah.
They want you to be depressed. They want you to live in this suicidal state.
Yeah. And they want the hatred. I mean, they want it. They want the division. But the point is that this platform and finding it, and the filmmaker who did it is a young guy, really cool. It's like, really, there are a lot of people like that have these stories they want to tell, and they're really great stories. And the thing that I love about that, besides the whole story, like he raised the money and he made it, it was really good for Gothics. It really helped her personally. But the beautiful thing is, it really inspired. And I know that word sometimes can be like, oh, don't say the I word, but it really did inspire a lot of people that saw that and said, wow, I went through that. I'm a black person who got called a racist because I'm not buying into all this stuff. And it was so good for people to see a positive female role model in Gothics. Her real name's Vanessa, and what she went through, because she's really honest and raw. She's not like a fake cartoon character. She's actually a real person. And she, I think she just taught a lot of young women and young people, like, hey, stand up for yourself. She's also deeply faithful. And, but it was just that kind of honest storytelling. You're just not going to get it on those other streamers, I mean,
no, you're not
for the most part. So I'm glad you showed that, Marcus. And you were going to say something while Marcus was talking too. I don't know, Roman, just after he played it.
You guys touched on it. I'll just reiterate it. Is the fact that like the Little Mermaid, it's exactly what you just said. It's like these young kids, they don't like, they want realism. They want it to be organic. They want it to be real. They don't want it to be fake. They don't want it to meet a certain DEI standard. And like the example you give, the Little Mermaid, it's like at this point, black, white, it doesn't matter. Woman, male, it doesn't matter. These people are over it and they're sick of it. And their boiling point is over. It's overflowing. Okay, it's flooding. All right, and that's exactly what's happening with this generation. Quite frankly,
can you?
I would.
Oh, go ahead, Jason. I was just
going to say, I was on the UCSC campus in 2015, so it was a long time ago. But the University of California, Santa Cruz is kind of the tip of the liberal spear. And I was talking to some students who they weren't Christians, but they were showing up to these discussions, debates we were having. And I said, so you're not Christians, what are you here for? And one of the young men looked at me and he said, well, I know that all my teachers are lying to me. I don't know what the truth is yet. so he showed up because he was like, well, and I said, what are you trying to talk about? He was like, they tell me that a guy can put on a dress, become a girl. Like,
right.
I know that's not true. That's just, so
that's not true.
So they were looking for somebody that would speak sense to them. And because they could, there was the bald face that they knew they were being lied to. So
right.
And now it's that way everywhere.
I was
common
watching.
Sense is back. It's back. It really is.
I was watching a clip from The Gilded Age on HBO, which was done by the guy that does Downton Abbey or whatever, and was this black lady who worked in this white home. This takes place in the 1800s, and she's trying to be a writer. And she goes and she gets asked to go and appear before this publisher of a Christian magazine. And they didn't know she was black when she got there. So they were like really upset about it. This is during times period piece. But then what was really crazy about this scene was then they said, well, actually, we will let you write, but you have to change your characters to white characters because our viewership in the South won't be able to relate to a black character that has a redemption arc. Is basically what, and I was like, that's DEI, just reversed. It's the exact same thing because you see all the kids on Disney and they're like, oh, I could see myself in the Little Mermaid. You remember that clip there? That kid was like
crazy,
completely like crying because she could see. I was like, what is this? This is crazy. But that was just like, I was like, wow, that was a really boldly written. There's no way that was done by accident.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Do you guys think DEI is racist?
Yes,
100%. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
By the way, racism and DEI, it's not like cholesterol. There's like, there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. all racism is bad, and period, full stop. No more to argue. Like, it's just the fact that they've spun it. It's like, well, this brand of racism's okay. It's like,
yeah. Well, and I think that's why the stories get so bad when you start bringing DEI in, is because it fundamentally undercuts the reality of humans being humans. Like, if somebody that is different than me can tell me their story, then I can connect with them and we can understand each other, right? We can have a relationship. Right. We don't have to agree on everything to have a relationship if we can tell our stories to each other, because we're human beings. We connect that way. As soon as you say you can't connect this way unless you have the same skin color, unless you have the same ideology, you can't connect, or you're different kinds of creatures, you can't connect by telling each other your story, you're going to undercut the ability to tell good stories. And we've seen that. Stories are ruined by DEI because you have to believe that you can connect with one another through a good story, just by the nature of being all humans.
Yeah. So on my show, one of my more recent episodes, I did it last week, was with the mayor of San Luis Obispo. And she's a liberal. Okay. It's fine. And she, in fact, on her website, when I was doing research on her, it said DEI champion. I thought, that's interesting, because you would think, and at first I really had to like slap myself in the face and say, is this really on her website, or is this on, some conservative propaganda? And no, it was actually on her website. And I'm like, is this real right now? And it was like, no, she's a DEI champion. And she's like, one of her biggest goal as mayor was to bring more DEI into SLO County.
Yeah,
so
she's a racist.
The best part is she's black. She's black.
She's
no,
being
but you
a
can't
racist.
say that. Come on, no, you can't say that. What are you talking about?
Give me your email. I'm
Reverse
going to tell her.
racism isn't a thing. No, what are you talking about?
Yeah. well, Roman, you're more than welcome to stay on, and please do stay on.
Yeah, do stay on.
But
no.
But I have a South Park update.
Okay, we gotta get our South.
Oh, I'm having fun. Why are we already stuck? Come on, guys.
Let me set the table for a second.
Okay, continue, Sean.
We're not
okay,
done.
no, fine, we'll do it, whatever.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're not done. We have other stuff in the show, but we want you where we would normally say, okay, well, it was nice to meet you. Give us your. We want to keep you on because we kind of feel like you're like our fourth band member that we were Sublime, and now we're the Beatles finally.
I know, guys. This might have to be a weekly thing, huh?
You never know. You just never know.
You never know.
So we want you to hang on while Marcus gets this really, really breaking news update on South Park.
Yeah.
Jason's going to give the answer to the trivia question, and we're going to keep you on towards the end because I do have a couple more questions for you, and I want to plug your show. So hang tight. And Marcus, I'm on the edge of my seat about that.
All right, man. So I think like it's been weeks. Every week we've been trying to give an update on the South Park distribution rights situation that's happening between Paramount and South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Obviously, as I've said before, there's been Skydance has made a purchase acquisition offer for Paramount, which has sort of delayed negotiations, and it's created all this. There's also other contracts with other networks like HBO. So the rumor is now that Matt Stone and Trey Parker, first off on Paramount, all the South Park episodes are gone. You can't watch South Park on Paramount right now. Matt Stone and Trey Parker brought in this big, scary litigator, deal maker guy, lawyer with Hollywood. And supposedly Netflix has entered the game, and now the price is $3 billion for the
See, remember we were talking. What was your guess, Jason? What was your guess? Like $33 million or something?
No, I think
Jason, I'm
it wasn't quite that low, but I was low. I think I guessed 900 million.
Yeah,
and
so
you guys
the
both were like
episodes,
B. It's going to be a B.
It's in the B's, yeah.
yeah,
in the B's.
3 times the B, and then so now, there, because there is no deal reached, partly because of the negotiations between Sundance and Paramount. And by the way, if Sundance for some reason doesn't get FCC approval for the merger or something, Paramount owes Sundance $400 million as part of the deal. And Paramount does not have that $400 million. So everything is, it's a lot going on. And then obviously Sundance doesn't want to do a 10-year deal and spend $3 billion at the beginning of an acquisition. The new season.
You said Skydance, not Sundance.
Skydance.
Yeah,
Skydance.
okay. Yeah, Skydance.
Yeah, Skydance.
Okay. Yeah.
Did I say Sundance?
I know. I'm pretty sure Robert Redford does not have $3 billion.
Yeah. So
Okay, got it.
anyway, all that to say is the episode premieres, I believe it's July 26th. It's next week or 2 weeks from now. It's already been delayed by 2 weeks, the premiere. So nobody knows. We still don't know what's happening with South Park.
Man,
So
I just like
more updates to come.
Ongoing drama.
But the big news is $3 billion. I mean, when you really wrap your head around $3 billion, I just want to say something to Matt and Trey. You guys, please give your team just a little bit of a pay bump, like 5%, something.
Yeah. And then I would just also want to say all of this is from a show that was started by college students as a college film project. That got passed around on VHS tapes all over and eventually became a series. Yeah. It was just an indie college student film that was passed around on VHS tapes made out of actual construction paper at the time. And that is where, it came from. So, there's nothing stopping young artists from really being able to make stuff and build media empires that's purely entertainment. And I would say their longevity is because they don't embrace the DEI stuff and they've made fun of it routinely.
Same with Family Guy.
Every issue. Yeah, Family Guy.
And by the way, just to touch on what you just said, is this younger audience, males specifically, what do you think they watch? They watch shows like South Park. They watch shows like Family Guy. They love it. They think it's hilarious because they aren't filtered. They talk about anything. They criticize everything. They make jokes about everything. It's not like they're defending one side or defending the other. And it's pure comedy and people love it. It's
I
gone
think
now.
Family Guy and South Park have sort of, especially Family Guy for sure, felt like it's had like a sort of renaissance in popularity lately, which has been crazy to see.
Right.
And The Simpsons as well, they're still on.
Yeah.
They're still on, but they stopped hitting hard. So
yeah, that's the difference between the two.
I haven't watched them in a while. It's been a while.
I just got a text from Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. He said, "What? Pamela and I's VHS tape got traded all over, and we didn't make anything close to $3 billion." I don't know.
I wasn't expecting that, but John, you know everybody. It's amazing.
I'll text them after the show.
So, Jason, are we ready for?
So, just to reminder, what the question was at the turn of the millennium, there was only one musical artist that had charted in 7 different decades, and that was Louis Armstrong. Right, he had charted from the 20s through the 80s, every decade. Twice after he died, he charted. Well, until 2002, when another American artist finally charted, when a remixed version of this artist's song was in Ocean's 11. And
Look, by the way,
that
look,
are-
you already lost our younger generation. Did you notice that?
That's true.
Roman's
Yeah.
already taking a siesta over there. He's like, I can't. This is what we got to deal with every week, Roman.
You lost him
Every
at Louis
week.
Armstrong, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
okay.
wait, Louis Armstrong. He was a founding
I-
father, right?
You're
I'm an
a great.
old soul, though. I'm an old soul.
Yeah, okay.
I
Nice.
am.
But are you Louis Armstrong old? Because that's
Well, I mean,
super old.
I frequently listen to Dean Martin, Sinatra.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I do. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
All right, all
I
right.
really do.
All right.
Hey,
Nice.
I misspoke then. Okay. All right. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jason. I was looking at our sample audience here.
No, that's,
Taking
that's all
notes
right.
from my Nielsen data report. Okay.
So in 2002, Elvis charted in his 7th decade with a little less conversation. And since then, one other there was one other guy that had hit 7 decades. But I can't
Tom
think of who it
Jones?
was now.
Tom Jones.
No, it was
Engelbert
in that same. It
Humperdinck?
was in that Tom Jones genre.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
No,
Rod
not Engelbert Humperdinck. No, it was Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett, because he did that duets. Those
awesome.
duets
He did the
albums
duet with
charted
Lady
that
Gaga.
with Lady Gaga. That got him in for a 7th. So now there are
He
3
did.
artists.
Toby
Yeah.
Bennett
That,
did Rags to Riches, right?
It sounds like a Tony Bennett song. I'm not.
I like that
Confident.
answer. Hey, it sounds like it. Hey, Roman,
Yeah.
you're right. You are an old soul. The fact you even know who
Yeah.
Tony Bennett is very impressive.
Oh no, Johnny Mathis? Are you kidding me? I love
Oh
that.
man, that's
Wow.
deep cut stuff right there.
I'm being serious. I'll tell you this. I don't go to concerts that often, but Smokey Robinson was coming to my local fair, and it was jazz night with Smokey Robinson. And I tell you, I was probably 8 years old, and I was dying my grandma to take me. I was dying, and we did. And
Nice.
my grandma and I went, and we went to Smokey Robinson, because at the time I loved him, and I still do. I mean, I love Smokey, but yeah. So James
That's
Brown, all
awesome.
of them, I love them.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I am so surprised, Jason, though, that you did, because it's Ocean's 11 soundtrack. I could just go on the soundtrack, and I could have picked it, right?
Yeah, you could have. I mean, you
Was this-
probably could have.
Thanks for doing that. It was good to have like a giveaway finally.
A giveaway.
That was
Yeah.
a good one. That
But
was a great.
Victor got his answer in the chat before
He
I
did.
said it. So
Thank
yeah.
you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. Hey,
Good
so
stuff, Victor.
Roman, I've got questions for you because we got, I don't know, 7 minutes left. And we also, I don't know if we told you, but we have our own band. And the band, they listen to our show and then they just kind of furiously take notes and write some music cues. They go back, collab, jam, re-record, remaster, and then come back to us right at the end of the show and deliver the song. And we play it.
Yeah.
So now that I
the
just
song just got delivered, Marcus.
yeah, but
Yeah.
before so he's going to deliver the song from the band. But I wanted to ask you as we wrap, what your plans are with your show, and I also want you to tell us the name of your show and where we can find it. And we should do that now, so everybody you can promote your show. But tell us like what your plan is with the show and where you want to go with it.
So it's going to sound a little dumb, but so it's the Roman Medeiros Show. It's on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, and quite frankly, I'm having fun with it. And I know it's a stupid answer, but honestly, I'm just going to keep having fun with it and truly just doing my best and letting God do the rest and just seeing where God takes the show. And that's honestly where my head's at. Now, there's so many goals and things I want to do with it in regards to continuing to bring top people on. I mean, I want to book Charlie. I want to book the president. I mean, that again, that's the goal. I'll tell you what the goal is. The goal is I want to be in the Oval Office interviewing the president one-on-one, right? We're going to get there. We're going to get there, mark my words. But, a little short-term goal is, like, even when I was in Tampa, I met Brandon Tatum. He's got 2 million followers on Insta. I want to book him, okay? I got in contact with him. Let's finalize him. I finalized Stephen Davis, okay? So I want to finalize Joe Bob. I want to finalize Congressman Andy Biggs, who's now running for Arizona governor. I want to Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. We're very close to finalizing him. So, and he's running for California governor. So these are people that we're very close. We're on the brink of executing a wonderful show. I want to finalize it. And now, yeah, we're really just getting dates. We've gotten a yes. Now it's finalizing dates. So those are kind of the little short-term goals. The long-term goal is President Trump, Charlie Kirk. I mean, I tried to get Charlie when I met him, and I think that one went over his head. It went way over his head. He's like,
I think you threw Charlie off. I think he was not ready for you when you got up to the mic. I think he was like that guy in that TDK ad sitting in the chair. He was like, whoa, who's this guy?
I was like, is this me reincarnated?
Yeah.
No, but
yeah. Was it TDK or Maxell? Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. My bad quote.
Oh yeah.
And then ideally, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I am. Ideally, we're able to get a Roman takes the streets of LA with you guys, the little Roman Empire, huh?
I like the Roman Empire. I like the Roman Empire. I think that I saw some of your man on the street stuff. I love the one with the guy that looked like he just took just two extra tabs of LSD in the 70s. And you handled him so well. Yeah, he was talking about the druids, and I was like, oh my God.
The one sitting on the bench.
Yes.
Dude, I don't know what world that guy was on.
Oh, he was from Timothy Leary Acid Land. He was just, and you were here's what was nice, is you are very composed and stoic and kind and gracious with these people. And I think that's great because, as much as we do kind of laugh at when people do the mean-spirited thing, it's not nice. If we're going to have a little bit of fun, still be a gentleman and be a good person when you do that. I think you do a good job at that.
Appreciate that. And just to piggyback off what you just said, it's like, I literally, so I know we're getting short on time, but I'll say the story real quick I woke up one morning and I didn't realize it was the president's birthday. I also didn't realize it was the No Kings protest all across the country. So I wake up and I maybe woke up at 9. I slept in that night. Normally I'm literally up at like 5:36 and I must have been out late or something. So I woke up late. It was like 9 o'clock and I look at my phone and text messages going off, calls, DMs off, off. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? So I look, and I didn't realize it was the No Kings protest. Well, the No Kings protest came to my small town of Atascadero, California. It's got, 15,000 people? And so they're like, Roman, I got a guy. He goes, Roman, they're at the corner on El Camino by Vaughn's. You have to go. So I call up my video guy. I go, hey, you down? Are you, like, if I pick you up right now, are you ready to go? He's like, no, I'm ready. Let's go. So we go, and I am in a flock of people who hate the president of the United States. And I will say, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. But no, you can't. I mean, I'm relaxed, and I'm just like, in all honesty, though, I wasn't gonna convince these people. The president's doing wonderful things. No, I wasn't gonna convince them. They were. I mean, if you're already out there, you are so
out there,
tunnel vision in your own ideology and your own agenda and narrative. It doesn't matter. So
it's not a fact. It's not a facts thing with them. But Jason, real quick. Why don't you tell us about this band?
So they prepared some German Hawaiian techno for us today.
Oh, fantastic.
That's why I wore my Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, so we got ourselves a German Hawaiian techno.
March, the empire grows tall, pillars of marble, they never will fall.
Wait, so it's actually good.
We carve out the future.
I thought it was gonna be a joke.
In stone and in gold.
Oh, they're a good band, Roman.
But who's got the blueprint?
Good vocalist.
Who's in control? South Park kids trading deals in the night. Cartoon hands shaking in dim neon light. Right ahead, tell a tale, make the centuries dance. From Rome to Hawaii in a techno trance. Stories weave us together like vines on the tree. Kaiser grew forever. It's our legacy. Ooh.
incorporated the genre into the lyrics, it looks like.
I know they did.
Oh wait, gotta wait for this next chorus.
Aloha beats with a Germanic flair, togas and lace. What a wild affair.
I think they misinterpreted
Surf
Roman.
through the
Yeah, they
ages.
did.
Sorry about that, Roman.
Beats
Wait,
that don't age.
we are looking at a new songwriter.
History's the party, and we're on the stage.
All right, Roman. Thank you
Roman.
so much for joining our show. Be sure, by
Thank
the
you,
way,
guys.
you can follow him on Instagram at the Roman Medeiros Show. Be sure to do that. His link is in the description of the show and also on the screen right now. And yeah, man, we really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, guys.
And,
No,
be
it's been
sure
a
to
pleasure.
yeah, be sure to tell your friends about Lore TV and their freedom to be able to make movies and TV shows without being hindered by all the woke DEI nonsense. So
You guys have my full support. I love everything you guys are doing. So I really appreciate you guys for having me on. God bless you guys. Take care. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
See you
Roman.
guys.